Hi, I'm Angel, and today I will be reviewing the 2018 Avengers Infinity War. I believe this is the third installment in the Avengers series, and it is directed by the Russo brothers, who are most notably known for directing Captain America, Civil War, and Snow Leopard? No, Winter Soldier, right? Oh my goodness, I've been holding off on this review for days now. I saw it a few days ago, and it was emotional roller coaster, and I have so much to say. There's going to be a spoiler segment, and we are going to get into it because there are quite a few things we need to talk about. Overall impression, I loved it. Loved it! I know that I loved Civil War, Captain America Civil War, and then Black Panther I was obsessed with and I saw twice. I'm ready to watch Avengers Infinity War again. I really am. It's so much fun. Fun. It's colorful. They really learned a lot, I think, from their recent movies. They learned from Captain America Civil War how to do action sequences, how to combine superpowers and have them work as a team. And that was my favorite part about Civil War. It was watching these superheroes use their powers together. That's what I actually loved about X-Men, is that one person would go through a boulder and the other one could pick up that boulder and smash it on a villain. They would cleverly combine their skills to give you a very entertaining combat scene. Also, Civil War had beautifully choreographed combat, which is very important, especially if you're a person like me that is just bored by smashy, punch. It's not entertaining. Give me something good to eat, you know, trick or treat. This gives you good visual combat. It's not shaky cam, it's not zoomed in, it's not kind of cheap the way, sorry, Black Panther was. Really, the combat was not interesting, yawn worthy, but here it makes up a good chunk of the movie, so it's important for it to stand on its own and to be entertaining, and it was. Then you have the comedy, or rather the downtime to the uptime, the peaks and valleys in the action of the movie, right? I think it was well balanced. The comedy density in the movie is pretty hefty. They have a lot of jokes on top of jokes. So when people in the audience were laughing, they were still making jokes, and I had a hard time catching all of them. That's why I'm eager to watch it again, because I feel like I missed maybe 25% of the comedy. It really made me feel like they learned from Thor Ragnarok. That movie was so much fun, and I also did a review for that if you're interested. And the comedy there is fresher. I felt the previous movies could easily come off as cartoonish or childish or shticky, but here there are quite a few jokes that landed with me, and I've mentioned before in my reviews, if you're like me, you're a person who doesn't laugh that easily, especially not at obvious jokes. Okay, yeah, I knew that that's what you were gonna say, so that doesn't tickle me. But they often got me, and I let myself get taken away by the comedy in the movie, and it's enjoyable. So yes, I would say it's important to have seen the previous Marvel movies, every character's movies, because you come in like the cast of Friends, you know, it's Joey, oh, it's Rachel, when they appear on screen, and sometimes they appear in a grandiose way. You feel something, you got the feels, you get all warm and fuzzy because you're like, oh, it's my boo, oh, it's my fave, oh, it's my friend, and you are excited to see them, and they have personality traits that were written in. They were mindful of how every character kind of delivers their lines differently, may make jokes differently. We have now Thor, who has more of a sense of humor than before. Doctor Strange is still very much, you know, Dr. House. Tony Stark is still that girl. He's so annoying, and it's just one of my least favorite characters, so that is that. But if you love him, then you're gonna love him because he keeps being himself. But consistency is what I'm saying, and that's what I really appreciated. It was consistent. Yeah, I just had so much fun during the movie. I kept looking at the screen and going, yes, oh, yeah, oh, just enjoying what was happening on screen. And there is a darkness to this movie, a dark undertone that makes sense considering the subject matter and things that occur, major events in this movie. So it has a very nice balance between dark and light. Hey. The villain, Thanos, I like to say Thanos. He's relatable. It's not what you would expect from a supervillain, and in villains in general, in cartoons, in comics, they're usually one-track minded and very caricature. I think my favorite villains in the Marvel Universe were, well, Killmonger because Bay, love him. And Hela because she slays the whole universe. Amazing, I just want to be her. And Thanos, I'm not a fan of, well, him, but I can understand where he's coming from. And he clearly is the hero of his own story. There is a rationale behind his actions, and there are a few choices that he makes that you may question throughout the movie. I'm not sure why he chose to spare this person or do that thing right there. But in the end, I think things become a bit clear, or rather explainable. And I can go deeper into it in the spoiler segment. For all the newbies out there, if you're gonna go see it, make sure to stay past the end credits after the black and white scrolls, like all the way at the end. I know. I saw quite a few people leaving the cinema. It hints at a new character. I actually had to do some research after watching the movie to know who that new character would be, because I didn't know what the symbol was, and I don't know the comics that well or at all. I'm marginally excited just to see who they cast for this person. The CGI, the visuals are great overall. I didn't mention it, but yeah, everything looked pretty good. We had some moments that reminded me of Harry Potter, Dobby moments, but not so much. Just with this one character in particular, he's like Squidward meets Voldemort. Yeah, sometimes his CGI was very CGI. It would take me out of the movie. But you still marvel, at how far we've come with technology. When you watch this movie that is so immersive and maybe 80% of it is digital, that's amazing. So, Avengers Infinity War. I recommend it. I loved it. I was elated. I was just like, this is awesome. This is awesome. Such a high was building inside of me, and a love relationship was established throughout the movie. And then the end occurred. And I think I'm going to transition into the spoiler segment now so I can thoroughly address the ending. Just going to say, if you're gonna leave now, go watch that movie. Go watch it. Well, go watch like every single Marvel movie first and then go watch that movie. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Okay. It's time.
The spoils.
Oh, Marvel. Just when I thought I was getting comfortable with you, just when I felt my heart opening up to you, you took that heart and you stomped it to the ground. You took King T'Challa away from us. You took Black Panther away from us. Oh, it's just too much to bear. At first, I thought you were going to take Okoye away from us. I thought I was going to get up and yell at everyone in the theater. No. You took Black Panther instead. The king, not just some fool with vibranium. The king of Wakanda. Even if he will come back, be resurrected, whatever, just to joke about it. Just to pretend. I cannot. Shame on you, Marvel. Shame on you for taking our hearts and squishing him like that. Shame on you. You know what you do. You try to get us back in the theater for the sequel so that we can all come in hopes that you will bring him back to us. Not again! You are tricking us, Marvel. Hey, you better bring him back, eh? I'm not joking with you, Marvel. I will find you. What you did is unforgivable. See, let me explain it this way. It's as if your friend has 1,000 beautiful Nikes. Let's say it's menswear. Let's say Nike just made 5 women's shoes. Maybe 1 or 2 of them are amazing. It's sparse, but the ones that are there, they're not the greatest. And you bought maybe 1 or 2 pairs. And then all of a sudden, they discontinue that model. And it's a very popular model. And they discontinue some of the men's shoes too. But they don't discontinue the really popular loved ones. And that have been popping for years. They discontinue the side pieces. Technically, we can all live without them except for a few exceptions. And for you, they take your beloved. And then your friend, what does he say to you?
Well, if you don't like it, create your own shoe company.
And I'm just explaining what it feels like to have Black Panther as a Marvel character that of minority Africans can connect with. And then he is snatched along with quite a few other Marvel superheroes, some that I appreciate. Hello, Spider-Man, love him to death. I don't want to say that, love him to life. Even Strange I like. But you left Captain America. But you left Iron Man. You even left Banner, who is broken. He's a discontinued model. Him you can remove. Gotcha. I just didn't understand why the main crew was untouched. Maybe it has something to do with this part 2, but it just isn't nice, Marvel. All the people who love those other characters, they're going to be like, oh, this movie is entertaining. I wonder how it's going to resolve itself in the second part. But people like us who are like, Marvel has finally managed to make me feel for it, to make me invested in an imaginary world, in a cartoon. Then you cut me in half. How dare you? It was harsh. It was painful, and I really felt terrible after the movie. I felt sick to my stomach. I felt robbed of breath. I was very confused and very, very sad. First of all, they started by taking Idris Elba. In the back of my mind, I know I'm not supposed to say these things, but I'm sure a lot of you thought it. The black character dies first again. And then what? Immediately after, he's followed by Loki. Loki? Really? I don't want to bring colorism into this, but I'm just saying, those two don't equate. But Loki was a villain, okay? It was time for him to go. I mean, he already came back. He had seconds, as if it wasn't bad enough that they dressed Idris up like the character from Twilight. But I'm just being petty. Okay, to be fair, a lot of interesting characters. I love everybody equally, all right? I'm just being super ridiculous because they took the king of Wakanda. After I thought about it, I was like, you know what? They could maybe just leave it this way and follow it up with Shuri as Black Panther. I mean, she would fit even more, I think, because in the comics, isn't Black Panther supposed to be like one of the smartest people on Earth? T'Challa does not seem to be that, but Shuri sure is. So she would make a killer Black Panther. Like, oh, I would be so down for it. They could even like resurrect Killmonger and teach him the ways of goodness instead of evil. And he could be a fantastic Black Panther. Even Baku. Baku has such presence and power, and he's amazing and fun. He could also make a fantastic Black Panther. I'm just saying, all these people, they could technically replace T'Challa because Chadwick, I love you, but you were kind of a replaceable character. And I love it. Ovella kept laughing every time the boy opened his mouth to speak because that accent, I mean, he's been sitting in it for too long, but it's just not authentic enough. So yes, the core is saved, you know, again, Thor and company. This is chatter I've heard. Some of these actors, their contracts have been up, and I think that they haven't renewed it. Like, Iron Man no longer wants to be Iron Man, and I think Captain America is also done with being the Cap. So after they use that time travel stone to rewind things, they might bring back our faves. I wouldn't mind watching a movie with what's her name? Red Finger, with the red fingers. You know who I'm talking about. Anyways, yes, Baby Olsen. She was also really good. Girl brought it. And when is Scarlett or Red Finger or any of the females gonna have their Marvel movie? Gotta say, DC's got one up on you there, and they killed it with Wonder Woman, okay? She gave us all life. Real talk, make Okoye or Shuri Black Panther and then have them be the stars of the next movies, please. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. I feel like we took a few steps back in society, in progress, in equality. Really, the girls are gonna fight the girls and the boys are gonna fight the boys. I don't know. I just thought superheroes are superheroes, and I wanted to see a little more mixing and a more gender equality, I guess. But the fight scene was nice. All right, let's discuss Thanos and his crazy, brilliant, whatever you want to call it, idea to preserve the equilibrium in the universe, balance, and all those things. Theoretically, yeah, sure, fine, maybe. In practice, mess. Terrible. And I feel like that was the theme of this whole movie. Sacrifice one to save many. Even the Avengers were grappling with that notion. And Thanos is clearly saying, yes, sacrifice 50% of people to save the other 50%, or I guess the future of the planet. Thanos, like, who died and made you god of the universe? If anything, Hela should be in charge of this. But I hear, apparently, word on the street, is that he's doing this to impress some girl, some lady called Death. He is probably trying to woo her, and I really hope it's Hela, because I want her to come back.
Oh, Thanos, you've pleased me with this offering. You know I like my jewelry sparkling, and you got me these fantastic gems. Control the universe, I can do it without jewelry. I'm just that powerful, but I do accept, and I will wear them proudly. Although that gauntlet is a bit big for my taste. Maybe I'll fashion it into a lovely neck piece. Oh, dinner? Friday? Yes, I believe we discussed it. You know what? I think I'll be washing my thorns that day. Changes in plans always occur. Let me get back to you. I'll just take that gauntlet, won't I? Thank you so much, love. Ta-ta.
So Thanos has a heart, apparently. He has love inside of him. He's doing this for the love of the universe because he lost his planet to scarcity and poor planet management, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so that kind of explains why he didn't kill everyone like Thor, for example. Although I thought maybe he didn't kill Thor because he was going to blow up the ship anyways and he thought that would kill Thor. I'm so confused. I'm still thinking it through because he did kill Loki. I'm trying to figure out the reasons for why he killed Loki and he didn't manually kill Thor. The way I would explain it is that he doesn't want to kill. This is not his main purpose. He's not an angry villain who's like,
must destroy universe, blah.
He wants to restore balance. So he wants to kill, but at random. You know, he wants to snap his fingers and just like those online random number generators, he wants the fingers of fate to choose who dies and who lives. So he doesn't want to be a god in the sense that he is choosing who is going to live and die. So that's why I guess he was fighting the Avengers, but kind of like,
I'm fighting you to a certain extent. Get in my way between me and that stone and you got to go. But if I like you, like...
What is it, Star-Lord? He likes that boy?
I don't need to kill you. I mean, fate will decide. Either you will disintegrate when I kill 50% of living creatures all around the universe, or you won't, and it's not up to me. My purpose is larger than you.
And that makes him larger than life. Thanos had a soft spot for Gamora. You know, their relationship was so quickly established in the movie, and even in Guardians of the Galaxy, we don't see much of Gamora. She's very, I don't know, a flat character. You never grow to love her, basically. That in this, like in the span of, 2 hours, I'm sorry, I couldn't really feel for this their interaction, Thanos and Gamora. I could tell that he loved her, the way he would look at her and all. They didn't explain enough why he cared about her. It wasn't established enough. It didn't make enough sense. We also don't see Thanos using his gems enough. We are the crystal gems. Some reviewers mentioned, oh, he keeps punching all the time, even though he has the gauntlet of life, basically. But yeah, when you get a new weapon, your reflex is not to use it until you've mastered it for decades and centuries or something. Or at least a week. Boy had it for like a few days, hours, minutes even. So understandable that he wouldn't know how to use it and wouldn't use it systematically in combat. I was confused about Thor's feelings after his people had been wiped out. And here's another thing. Thanos did mention he wiped out 50% of Asgardians. Did I understand that correctly? Because that's his thing, right? To wipe out 50%. Not more, not less. If that's the case, everyone was on that ship and then he blew up the ship. So where are the other half? Did they all get transported in a wormhole before? Where was Tessa Thompson in all of this? I thought it was Thor's new boo. Yeah, so I had questions about that. And it seemed like he was only really affected by Loki's death and not so much the death of his, people planet. But you know, he's a god. He's probably seen bigger, worse things, and certain things are hard to process. Like, I can't process what 1 million people looks like, but I can process what 10 people in a room looks like. He probably just can't process the death of thousands, millions of people, but he can process the death of Loki. And I guess that goes to explaining why the Avengers in general seemed pretty loose with fighting Thanos to get that gauntlet. I'm speaking of specifically Starchild. I know that every single person in that audience wanted to punch him in the face. Your coworkers are working overtime right now. They are with you. They are telling you, dude, we have a mission. The universe is at stake. The universe is at stake. And we are almost done extracting this glove from this Michael Jackson's hand. And you mess things up. So if you factor in the idea that it is hard for someone to care about saving the universe. What is the universe really? It's kind of abstract to be like, I have to save everybody's life. But when you got somebody thinking about their mom, their kids, their spouse, you know, specific people in their lives that they love and care about, they are going to go through hell and back. Everyone else is just like an afterthought. It's like a consequence of saving one person. So I guess you would explain it that Starchild lost his whole family, and then the only woman who he cared about, who, let's be honest, marginally cared about him. I did not see the chemistry between those two. He lost the last person that he could care about, that he cared about, that he loved, that he felt for. And in that moment, I guess he felt like he had nothing else to lose and nothing really to fight for. Honey boo boo selfishness. Maybe this is the consequence of living in space for all this time and being an orphan and an only child. Something wrong with you. You couldn't go and punch a bunch of rocks. It's all you had to do. And the movie would have ended there. But of course, Marvel wants us to talk about this, to get invested, right? To be like, boy, take this. So I hope that when they rewind time, they can maybe skip over him getting reintegrated from the disintegration. Just let him pay the price because he deserves. So yes, in general, it was hard to get a sense of urgency. You didn't really feel like the Avengers throughout the movie were fighting for the world or people. It really felt like they were just fighting to stop Thanos, you know? Let's talk about the fashion. Oh my goodness. The way they like reshaped everybody, beautiful. First of all, Doctor Strange, your cape is so carpet from Aladdin. Love it! Iron Man, when his suit came on him and they zoomed on his hips and everything as he was being built and strutting his stuff, fabulous. Loved it. One of the beautifulest CGI moments. Bad $8 sign. Just fierce. Fierce. Spidey in space. He gets a new suit. Spacesuit. Loved it. Even though I'm terrified of spiders, I really liked the Spidey, the legs, you know? That was like, whoa, upgrade that suit, you know, like in a video game when you get those suit upgrades. And I love that they got to use them suits and show their power. My goodness, Iron Man's suit, like, what else can it do? Bake a pizza? The thing had bombs and missiles coming out of it and boom-a-loom-a-loom, and it was just like flying on its own and doing this and stopping that, and just, that suit can do everything, and he's been working hard on it. Clearly, Mama's been busy. Captain America, I'm not a fan of the little Blue Cross shields that he had going on. I prefer the circular shield, the frisbee. Even if it might be a little impractical, it was cool and it looked cool. But them, I don't know, they were tiny and they just looked like little garden scissors or hedge choppers. I don't know, they were just, no. But his suit was nice. It just, no, it wasn't striking enough, you know? It looked too realistic. It almost looked like NASA's spacesuit, but dark edition. And I wish that they gave him more of his Captain America colors. Show his face, beautiful hair, nice suit, tight. They updated Thor again, but honestly, Ragnarok is where he was at his best. Speaking of Thor, dude takes sun particles and he doesn't disintegrate. You could stab him, but you can't pierce him with a sunbolt. Peter Dinklage makes an appearance. I thought that was clever casting. It kind of reminded me of Hagrid in Harry Potter. Taking a person and zooming on them, you know, making them bigger. Love it. And Groot finally stepping up. Obvious moment, but lovable. The only thing I appreciated about Guardians 2 was baby Groot. So having teenage Groot, I mean teenagers we all know are surly and annoying. It was clever of them to make teenage Groot typical in that way, but it ends up being annoying. One piece of combat I'd like to talk about was, why didn't Doctor Strange, you know, he can create them little portals and close them, and that's how he cut one alien's hand off. Why couldn't he create a portal, stick Thanos' head in it, and then close the portal up, decapitate him? Or do it to his hand and take that gauntlet. You know that moment where they were all on top of Thanos and isolating him? That would have been the moment for Doctor Strange to do his thing. But I don't know, was he knocked out at that moment? I can't remember. Why don't you use that portal more often? I would use it all the time to slice bread, to cut, you know, a little string off of my dresses and shirts, you know, that little piece of thread that's always hanging. Cut hair if you need to. Not my hair, but someone else's hair. The battle in Wakanda. Bucky was in Wakanda and he was just like, my God, I love this place. And I'm sure a lot of the Avengers were thinking that when they discovered Wakanda. They must have been like, yes, immigration.wakanda.org, I'm on it. So they're in the field and they skillfully fight the dogs at the edge of the bubble. And those dogs, I'm sure a lot of you thought it was my first thought, the creatures from A Quiet Place. And there you go. Now we understand the backstory to that movie. They unleashed the dogs from some other realm. And after the Earth has been wiped out by Thanos in a snap of a finger, you have zones where there are still people, and some of the dogs got away. And that's how we have John Krasinski and his wife. There you go. Question, where is Ant-Man? Where was Hawkeye? Where was Deadpool? Speaking of, they showed the trailer to Deadpool before they showed the movie, and the actor who plays Thanos is actually the villain in Deadpool. And I think Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, as he usually does, and refers to him as Thanos, I think. I actually thought that the guy playing Thanos, or Thanos, was the guy from Hellboy, or Jeff Bridges, but definitely not his voice. Oh, Thanos. He was such a savage. Like, you're gonna kill your favorite daughter for a piece of jewelry, and then you're gonna watch Red Fingers kill her bae, her boo, her love, only to electric slide reverse him back to life, just to have him destroyed again. Cold, really. All this drama for a nap. That's his after party to all this mess, taking a nap. It's like he's selfish for wanting to help the universe in his way, but he's unselfish for wanting to help the universe. Because if he was really selfish, he would just go in isolation and live his life as he wishes. He was like extreme unselfishness to the point of selfishness, if that makes any sense. So don't worry, Black Panther and the rest of the girls will be back, because money talks. They are characters that are beloved. They will be back, and they will probably use the reverse resurrection stone, I don't know what it's called, to reverse time. If they defeat Thanos before they use that stone, they will also bring Thanos back. They'll have to destroy him after, right? And in a way, it will be kind of a symbolic representation of all of Obama's work just gone. So Thanos is Obama, and he's trying to help people in a way that displeases a lot of people. And the Avengers are Congress, and they just want to reverse all of that. Kidding. Please don't take me seriously. Who would be Trump in the Avengers? At this point, I'm gonna say Star Child because he messed everything up. All jokes, all love. I've said all I have to say, I think, about Avengers Infinity War. Really dove into this movie, enjoyed it so much, and sorry for getting political, really don't take me seriously. This is just a movie. In the end, I do not care about who dies and who lives. It's all fictional. I still have to get up and live my life. I'm very aware that I think, a white man invented Wakanda, so it's like we are all in love with this fictitious African nation invented by a colonizer. So really, in the end, like, what are we doing? It's all jokes, it's all entertainment, it's all love, it's all fun. That's what I wanted to bring it back to. Before you go, like this video, subscribe to Music, Game, News, and turn on that notification bell if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I am M. Angel, signing off. Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever.